start from last week about the petty cash, and then we'll finish the last one, which is very important for the basic accountant the first job that he or she was going to do. Okay, petty cash. All right, we'll start from the petty cash. So there are several steps, and very easily, but at every stage, you just need to remember the critical issues. Okay. For example, every company need to set up petty cash fund. Okay. So when you set up the fund, you need to decide how much you want to, based on the experience, how much you might need to spend for miscellaneous expense. Okay. Petty cash is only for miscellaneous something. How come every time you don't bring anything? That's your habit. You just keep on watching your cell phone, or you don't have any notes.
Writing my notes in my keyboard.
Or you're writing on your cell phone. Okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. So you need to decide how much for the petty cash based on your, the spending experience. Then so that's why you need to set up. So and every time, so the accountant, she needs to do the entry: debit, petty cash, credit cash. Okay. Then once she set up the account for petty cash, then the cashier will receive the cash. Then the cashier pass the money to petty cash cashier. These two are different people. Okay. Cashier is for the general purpose for the whole company, but for the petty cash, there's one specific person. He or she will, safeguarding the petty cash. Okay. Once he got it, then he has to record all the expenses about the petty cash. At a time, be careful. All the cashier never doing the entry. Okay, cashier only spend money, cashier only receive the money. Okay, different role. So whenever they have some expense, the thing is he needs to record all the expenses based on the categories. Okay, then when the money almost gone, near to zero, this is the timing he or she will submit organized receipt report to the accountant. Okay, and or when you at time you need to make the financial statement at the end, then it's also time you need to reimburse. Please remember, use the word reimburse. Means fill up, make more, make up. Okay, fill up the money， 就是把它补足，好 ，reimburse money。这个是在我们 business is a very common word, reimbursement or be reimbursed. Okay, the money. All right, the only two times, please, you should know the concept. Okay, then here's example. Okay, this is the beginning. You set up the fund, so you have the account, then it's petty cash. Then you withdraw the money from cash. That's why it's credit. Okay, you create new petty cash. Actually, petty cash is also one item of the total cash. Okay, it's also cash, but the purpose to use is different. All right, then once you have different purpose of the use, most of the time is for the miscellaneous expense. For example, this is the organized the chart. Okay, for example, the first one, the cleaning, then it's a very trivial money. 都是比较小额的钱，说杂支，说$20 or tire cleaning. So we have put the miscellaneous expense. Okay, then total $46.50. Okay, so you don't need to create all the entry for individual item. You only organize based on your account chart. Okay, remember from chapter 1 or chapter 2, we have an account chart. Okay, different kinds of officially be recognized on your financial statements. Okay, so based on the accounts, you give the description of the details, okay? And for merchandise inventory, most of the time, be careful, it's all for transportation in. Transportation in means purchaser is going to pay for the delivery fee. That's why it's included on the merchandise inventory. So here are two items, okay, when they purchase, definitely is FOD, what? Shipping point, right? In that case, the total two is $15.05. And another one, delivery expense. I especially put it here, it's not on your book, but I put on transportation out. Then we should know definitely it's FOD destination, okay? And the seller is going to pay for the expense. So that's why it's an expense, not included in the inventory, okay? So actually, most of the time, these two items will not happen for the petty cash because the two sides already decided who's the responsibility to pay for the fee. And actually, they will, the accountant or cashier, they will pay individually. But for this case, definitely see the amount is very small and it just happened for small purchase. So that's why these two delivery expense are showing up here. Normally, when you have a big purchase of inventory, of course that will be included, when you purchase the money, okay? And when the company is responsible for the delivery, and of course, then when the sales is done, they already, make up the schedule to pay for this one. So these two happen here because they are very small and very, not regular things, okay? Then also some small things for office supplies, and the fee, the money is only $4.75. Just happen, maybe some people or the counter people, they need something, so they need to buy a small supplies, something like that. So you organize all the chart. So this is done by who? By fund petty cash cashier, okay? So the money total is $71.30. So it's timing to report to the accountant because why? We just said the original fund was $75 and it's been used for $71.50, 30 cents, which means there are only $3.70 left. So it's about time you need to reimburse money. 好，这个时候71块3毛，你的原本的钱就75块，所以你还剩下3块7毛钱，你当然要去把钱给要回来，不然你下一笔钱就没钱去支付了哈。Okay, so after that, then you need to get reimbursed, and the accountant job is doing the entry. So based on the account name, she put on the items here, and here the total there are 5. But here is not, you cannot credit, not petty cash. Okay, the reason I explained last time already. If you are doing petty cash, no one say you are wrong. But once you credit the 71.30 cents, which means the balance of the petty cash only has $3.70 left, then you have to put it, fill out the money to $75 again. So why you do that? So that's the reason. Okay, if you were here, you should know what I'm saying. Then you only credit cash. Okay, which means you always maintain. Okay, you always maintain your petty cash fund on the balance of $75. Okay, unless till the end. Okay, then you should know what's the real money left for petty cash. If this is the December 31, then you can credit petty cash. See this one? Let me see, explain again. So in the beginning, you set up the fund for petty cash, $75 here. Okay, you don't touch that. Okay, during the time, whatever the expenses here, you only what? Credit cash here for this total amount. You don't touch here. Okay, but till the end, you need to make the financial statements. Then you need to find out what's the balance for petty cash. because you only have $3.70 left. So here you can offset the money here. This is the timing you credit that. Got it? Otherwise you only credit cash, not the petty fund. OK， 同学再注意一下，我们一开始建立账户时候，我们的零用金永远都维持75块，你不要去动它。平时你要去拿钱的时候，你只要带现金去补足该花的钱就好。但这个75块就会进到那个管理员的抽屉里面，71.3块。OK， 那你不动这个整个钱，如果你一动它的话，它就变3块7，你又要再去加71块，不是很麻烦吗？好，所以你不动它。但是要期末说因为你要编报表，你要知道你真正还剩多少钱，这时候你才会 credit 贷方的71.3块。OK， 所以这是个很重要的原则，大部分人在日常生活中都做错了哈，所以弄得乱七八糟。It's happened in lots of the cases in our regular business or transaction. Even the place I live, stay in the community, they have a max for the petty fund. Okay. All right. So later on, you may decide to increase the fund to 100. Then you need to increase another $25 to here. Or you think 75 is too much. You never can finish that money. Then you decide to drop money to $55. So you credit petty cash here. Then you can do evaluation based on the regular expense. And later on, when you refund money here, cash over and short is an account. 注意啊，这个现金多或易或少，短缺这是个会计科目。OK, then how do you know the cash on the drawer is more than the one is supposed to be? Okay, then we call that cash over, which means you have some extra money. You don't know what happened. Okay, maybe just your fund cashier paid the other side less money, which will increase your balance on your drawer. 有的时候你在你的抽屉怎么发现钱多了 ，OK， 那也有可能就是and also it could happen become a cash short 啊，你应该20块，你只有15块，少了5块钱，不管是多出来或者少，都可能是中间的一些错误发生，但是 it happens. It can be more, it can be less, over and short. Okay, it doesn't matter because it happened. You cannot trace who were paid more or who were paid less. Okay, in that case, we create an account. We call that cash over and short. Then how do you know that you have over and how do you know you have short? Very easy. Okay, I give the example last course that whenever you increase your equity, then just like revenue or have something get gain or like that, then it's always credit. When you have some cost or you have expense incurred or you have something get some loss, it's always will decrease your equity. So that's why the normal balance is on debit. OK， 我们之前讲过，任何会跟权益是贷方，好，资产等于负债加权益是在贷方，任何会增加权益都是贷方 ，OK， 任何会减少权益都是借方。那从此啊可以知道 ，if you have a cash over, then tell me it should be on debit or credit. Debit.
Debit.
What I was asking.
Cash over.
Oh, cash over, then you were saying debit.
Over. Credit.
Think about that. I just gave the example. People,
Over credit.
那个耿家俊，如果我是现金多出来，你就是放借方还是贷方？
贷方。
呀，为什么？
因为。
Can you say in English?
Because it's
Will increase what? If you have cash over, then you will increase what? So that's why you choose credit.
increase side.
The answer is debit. No, you were saying credit.
Yeah.
Then why?
Uh,
Are you the one in this class? 是我们班的吗？哎，叫什么名字？啊？
李善全。
有吗？怎么会忘记这个名字？抱歉。Okay, let's see here. Asset equals liability and equity, right? So I just said whatever will increase the equity, it should be on credit, right? So for like the revenue, like the sales, like any transaction you get any extra gain, then of course you have money more, okay? So that's why it's cash over make you on the credit side, okay? Anything will decrease equity, like the cost, like the expenses, like the loss, like the cash short, okay? Then it's on debit side. So you don't need to think about second. You just know where the position implies what. Okay, so here is, even though we only have one account, then you can tell whether it's over or short, depends on the side. Okay, then let's see the example here. Okay, here's its example. Okay, please pay more attention in this question. It will show up on all kinds of examples, okay? Because it happens pretty often that you will have more money or less money, okay? Here is, you need to reimburse 2,000 Medicaid fund. Then actually the report shows there are 178 in miscellaneous expense. And after this one, how much money should supposedly in the the safety box or the drawer? $22, right? But actually there are only $15. So you have money over, or you have money short.
short.
嘿，后面的不要只看玩手机啊，听课 OK， 要来就听一下课。我都还会背讲中文，你总要听一下中文嘛，对不对？不要你每天都要划手机。如果是178 200块钱的话，是不是只有22块剩下？啊，问题是你就15块，那这样子叫做钱多还是钱少 ？So it's short or over?
Short.
Short. You are supposed to have $22. Then you only have $15. So we call that cash short, right? Then once it's short, you don't need it. I tell you the concept, okay? You should put on cash on over and short in debit side, okay? So you need to reimburse money for $178. The account name is miscellaneous expense. So you have debit, miscellaneous expense. 借方杂支178块钱 ，OK。但是因为呢，你要补足它就15块钱，那你要补足它185块，所以 credit cash 好带现金。那这个借贷的 is not balance. The reason why we have a cash over and short in debit, which is short $7. OK， 那再看一下哈 ，actually for all kinds of all the exam in this class， 我在这一班里面 ，I will not you to do the the real entries, but you need to adjust. But it's always a multiple choice. At least you should know which one is the one you're going to choose. Just like the common exam, they are all multiple choice. 好，我们的会考也全是选择题 ，OK？ 所以你至少会选，好，你不一定要会写，你会判。You need to judge this one is the right one, OK? How do you judge? Because we have expenses here on debit, then we have to make up the gap, the difference, 185. 你必须把185补足这15块钱。那中间是什么？就是 you have a cash over and short debt. 只要是借方就是少钱 ，OK? So this is the one which make it very important because it always happens, during at the end. Because the counter people, they are always very busy, okay? And maybe, since the counter people, everyone can open or close the door. So maybe some people will steal the money in the case. Okay, so that's why I make the money more and short. Okay. So I think we have done this practice 2 and practice 3. Did you bring in the sheet, everyone with you? We had the practice sheet last time. Were you here? You don't just get carried back and throw through the garbage can. You have to continue the sheet. 把上一次拿出来继续做。We have more questions coming up. But that's you don't forget that. That's the score for credit for your involvement. So every time we finish chapter 8, you need to submit to me. And just like chapter 6. Okay? 你们每一次给你们，我特地这学期不再让你们缴那个课前的阅读，让你们在课堂做题目。所以我每一堂课发给你们的练习单，你就不要拿回去丢掉。每一次上完之后，就麻烦交给我，好，不管你做对或最少，这是你们课堂参与的分数。Okay? If you still don't have that, and I still have some left if you want to help you. This is not the first time. We had the same thing happen for chapter 6. I'm telling you, don't throw it away, and you keep forgetting. Here, I have 3 here. 还有3份，如果要来的话来拿。Okay, we are moving to in-class quiz for A-3. Okay, please go to your turn, class. And get to the A-3. Ready.
因为比较苦啊，因为我在
它这是应该连学校，不是用 WiFi， 应该是连那个网络啊。
那老师，
老师，你的东西像是可能要备一份，就是因为网络也可以开得了，这样
啊，什么意思？
就是网络连线它也可以开得了。
不是这个，我们要教他们来把这个直接连那个墙壁的，就不会这个问题。我现在变要用我手机去开，然后我去开，他们就。Can you connect to your internet here in the basement? 你们这边连得上线吗？
可以。
可以哈，那我就用我手机去开。
老师，你再试试看看这样子可以。我把那个网线插进去。
还有拔掉的。
我刚。
为什么老是有些人做一些奇怪的事情？看看，
那这样就可以了。
不见得，我要看。
它用速度比较慢一点，但是应该还是看右。
对嘛？你刚才他没事奇怪不懂的，可能是那个老师把它连到他的笔电上去，他就不复原。我要贴张纸在这边，
我记得之前好像有贴，但是就错掉了。
Okay. Questions open, please do it now. You can also see the question from here. If the cell phone port is too small.
还有全部是零。但是就是看一下，之前说的这一条的错的话就没有放，刚刚是这样。可是我先跟他讲，然后是催他一下一个事情。那我等下先去买个水，然后我先去。
有在做吗？请问在讲什么？Number one, all dispense from petty cash should be documented by a petty cash receipt. This is easy one. And don't watch your neighbors, do it by yourself, and no discussion. 自己做自己的哈，不要讲话，看别人的干什么？第二题。The journal entry for petty cash reimbursement involves a petty cash, a debit to appropriate expenses, and a credit to petty cash. OK， 这个分录呢，就是在你要去回补钱的时候，会借相关的费用贷那个零用金。第二题。OK, number 3, the petty cash fund can be reimbursed when it is nearing zero. 好，那个。零用金的基金要维持补足的时候，当它接近零 ，and at the end of accounting period when financial statements are prepared， 或是你要在准备财务报表的时候，你要去把它回补过去。Number 4, the entry to increase the balance in petty cash from 50 to 75 will include a credit to petty cash of $25. 如果你现在要做分录，要增加你零用金从50块到75块的话，这时候你会贷零用金25元。最后题 ，the last one, the petty cash account is a separate checking account used for small account. OK， 那我们通常呢，那个零用金是一个分开的支票账户来使用，专门使用那个小额的钱。这里的问题是，它是支票账户吗？它是支票账户吗 ？Be careful. The question 5 is asking you a separate checking account. Is it a checking account or is it not? Okay, so be careful. 注意这小地方。第5题。Okay, let me see how progress. I was always confused. We have 2 Brian, right? You are Brian. And which one you are? The first one?
Yes.
And were you here last time?
Yes.
So this Brian always absent. Is that right?
Yes.
Because I remember there was another Brian was not showing up. So do you know him? What's the problem with him? She has been absent. What about the other person? Did he show up? Sometimes. Okay. Okay, I'm going to close. Everyone, have you submitted? 每个人都送了哈，我关咯。
送。
Okay, now we are moving to something really difficult, but it's very important. Okay, we call that banking activity as controls. Okay, we have lots of activity happen daily, and maybe so many transactions happen. You deal with the banking activity. I had an EMBA course yesterday on Sunday, and I invited a CPA who's been, practicing for over 20 years. I got information just like to share with you. We have a bubble tea store. Sometimes for the bubble tea, because they assume their net income for monthly will not be, or sales will not be over $20,000, which means they don't need to issue the invoice. OK， 我们台湾不是有卖那个摇饮店吗？那如果是20万营业额以下，你是不用开发票，所以你看有的时候你会有拿到发票，有的时候你不会有发票。OK，so that's why many stores they set up different companies name. If you have several branches, okay, but under one name, they still total the sales. Then you have to report by your, the business tax, the corporate tax. But if you use the different names, but within one company, they just come by individual company. Anyway, we have a very famous one, bubble tea. I think in the early stage, they were the only limited store. 我们在很多年前不讲哪一家公司哈，他们是在台湾很早起家的。Okay, so they have one store in 逢甲Evening Mart， 在逢甲夜市开了一家店。Okay, actually, they don't issue the invoice, but actually, they have the daily cash transaction directly deposited to the owner her own account. Just guess how much the business they are making. Cash business for bubble tea one day. Who can give me a number? 猜猜看，你们后面男生有没有概念？一天摇饮店现金可以做多少钱？在逢甲店，你要想哦
2万多。
2万多，20,000 cash 2万。Just one guess. You purchase. You like bubble tea? Yeah. For example, one bottle is about $50. Yeah. Then in the Fengjiang, Fengjiang is a very popular place. Then just guess how much for cash? 50,000? 30,000? Anyone else?
4-5千吧。
Any number? I will give you. They have really good business. If I say that, everybody, no, I'm not going to study anymore. I'm going to open a bubble tea shop.
50,000.
50,000? 80,000. Okay. Okay. Can I give you the answer now?
2万的话，1个月也就60万。
Not including, they reported to the tax bureau. Only the hidden sales. That's why they get the cash directly deposited to the owner. And normally, owner probably will travel to Hong Kong carrying the cash, so the cash will not show up in her bank account. That's how they watch the money. Okay? Okay, the answer is $1 million cash. 100万以上 more 120万 1.2 million cash for bubble tea each day in Fengjiang.
One day?
Yes, one day.
One day?
Ah?
One day.
哦，拍谁？叫来他。
What is the name of the company?
I cannot tell
50 cents.
because the information was released by the guest speaker of CPA because they know the store.
提前一公晚的，
啊，
你说多少来着？
100万一天现金做这个手都快断掉了。I think that your employee can broke their arms. Anyway, so we need to there are lots of cash activity or the checking activity dealing with the bank. So maybe the bank will make mistake, but it's very rarely. But for the your company, not everyone is professional accountant. So anyone can be taking off all the, like the 老板娘, okay, or the owner, she never needs to learn accounting, but just taking off the cash. So they may have some mistake from your book. So you need to check the two balance, one cash from the bank and one cash from the book. So we call that you need to control your banking activities. So there, if you, here are just general concept. We also have a bank account. Bank account is also included in cash. 好，银行存款也是现金 ，OK? Then when you open your account, no matter in the other country or in Taiwan we need to get a stamp. 好，我们要印章 ，but in the other country you need to have a formal signature card. Then they will picture it, and next time whenever you issue check, they have to make sure they are the same person. Okay? Then whenever you need to deposit ticket or you withdraw something, this is you don't. So we have several activities within the bank service, especially now. I don't know what about you. I don't, go to the bank so frequently because I have app. Okay, so I know all the details of the transaction, the statement, whatever, and I even can use my app to wire the money to the United States. Okay, this happened 2 years before. Before the time every time I wire the money to my daughters, I need to walk into the bank. Now I don't need to do that because I can do that. Even the international wiring, you can do from your app. So that's why so many students, especially from high school, when they choose the major, they want to study something, they always like to study the finance. And I asked her or him, why do you like to study the finance department? Because I want to work in the bank someday. Okay. I told them, if that's the reason, I'm telling you, the employee opportunity in the bank is getting less and less. Okay? But because now, not in Taiwan, you don't feel that frequent. But if you go to the other country, especially US, 50% of the work of the bank you have to do from the internet. Okay, especially you want to organize doing the financial planning, something like that. Then you just have to do from the internet. If you want to walk into the bank, there are really very few people are going to serve you. Okay, so you have to learn how to do it. But that's why when you decide to go to the finance department, you should know, you should learn the fintech, financial technology. Okay, not the traditional anymore. Also, just like accountant, okay, you say, I think being accountant the work is so steady. I work routinely everything. If you are thinking that way, then you should be out of date very soon, out of the market, because we don't have the, manual bookkeeping anymore. Okay, then you should learn more, big data analysis from your accountant data. Okay, so time is different. What happened? So here for EFT, electronic funds transfer, that is so frequent. Okay. Then here is the thing, you have to know, it's very important. Bank statement. Bank statement. Bank will issue the bank statement monthly, once, normally in the beginning of next month. Then they will email you, they'll mail you the statement of the bank. Then the accountant needs the information from the bank statement compared into their book account. See any difference? They have to compile to each other. Okay? So we say that bank statement. Okay. So next class we give you general term. This is a deposit ticket. It's okay. And this is in Taiwan. 大家应该去过银行都知道什么叫做银行存款单哈，给你们一个大概概念。所以呢，请注意我们的同学，如果你真的哪一天非得要去银行去存款提款的时候，你还要会知道这个大写的中国字1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9，还有0，会写好。每个人都会写大写的1到0吗？0到9，真的很多人。好，来告诉我4怎么写？1、2、3、4、5、6是4，那右边呢？1、2、3、4、5、6、7。那好像有这样子，也有这样子。我看过不同写法，但 which one is correct？ 4是常常人家犯错，这个4，这个4，是这个4嘛哈，对不对？那9嘞？2呢？2会不会写2？2你会 你会把这2写在下面吗？还是你会把2写在上面？然后呢，你会有1撇还是没1撇？没有1撇，可是很多人就会写1撇。1、2、3、4、5、6、7。7很多人都会写成3点，那它应该是2点。OK， 你写错了到银行就会被人家重写一遍。OK， 8、9、10、0。OK， 所以 you should know the Chinese full category 全那个大写的哈的1到0啊，这个你在提款存款的时候会用到。但是如果你 if you use the app， you just use the alphabet， 那个我们的一般的那个大写小写字。OK，then this is the remittance， 你要去汇款，好，在国外怎么情形？这我们台湾也提醒大家，要看在这边4应该是这样子 ，OK， 1、2、3、4、5、6，这个7他也写错哎，应该是2点吧，8、9 ，OK， 好 ，All right，then we have a break. We're moving to something really important for this chapter. 好，下一堂课我们叫银行对账单 ，reconciliation. Alright, let's have a break. 后来的同学 beginning, you should know what it looks like. Okay. In the United States or in the most foreign country, it looks like this. Or maybe in this Chinese version, like this. Okay. 麻烦同学请转过来听课，这个部分很重要。不要到时候你们家公司的钱都被抛出去都搞不清楚。OK。所以这边就是先 how it looks like. Okay, bank statement， 这就叫银行对账单。But in the beginning, before we do the demo, you should know some different idea. Here is debit. Here is credit. For the general debit credit concept, if you are the company, you increase your cash, you will debit. You decrease your cash, you will do credit, right? 正常来说，现金是不是增加就借方？那个现金减少是不是贷方？好，这 I think everybody knows. But how come here? This is the beginning balance. Then you have some debit. Actually, it's a decrease. And you have some credit. Actually, it will increase. How come it's opposite to what we have learned? Okay. Here, example, then you should know company and bank, they are opposite. Okay. This is the general one, the company. We know. Okay. So whenever you have any cash here, you increase in debit. Whenever you have a decreased cash, you put it here. Okay. But just assume you are the bank side. People deposit to your bank. Then you increase your cash here. For example, $1 million. Your customer deposit cash into your account bank. So you increase the bank here. And you create, for example, Asia company. Company here, $1 million. So actually, you are the one, you decrease $1 million here, you deposit to here. Then they create your individual account here. For the bank, you are their liability. 对银行来说，你是他们的负债。Whenever you want to withdraw the company from your own individual account, then will what? Your personal account will, for example, I need $100,000. Your Asia company account will decrease $100,000, and I will pay up the $100,000. Okay? So for you, your bank account in debit here, for the bank account, in decrease cash. Your bank account, the no balance is on debit. 喂，你们两个很重要哦，听哦。公司的银行账户是在借方，因为它是它的资产。 但是对银行来说，你这家公司在他公司是个负债，因为你随时要提钱，他就得给你钱。So they have liability to you. So that's why here, the bank statement, whenever they have debit, which means you debit here, you decrease your account here. So that's why it's a minus. I put an extra signal here. 注意哦，银行原本这么多钱，当你看它的借方的话，就是你的贷方，它的贷方就是你的借方。Their debit is your their debit is your credit. Their credit is your debit. Okay. Same thing. If they have some credit, which means they put more money here. For example, the company deposit $20 to their account. So it looks like you have increased the 20,000. That's only cash, but their personal account also increased $20, $100, $200,000. But here is a credit. Okay. 所以请记住，银行，所以that's why people were asking why the accounting department, why don't you have a course for the bank accounting? 银行会计为什么银行会计系为什么不开银行会计 ？Do you think if I have the space, of course I will. But we only have limited 128 credits. It's not necessary because for the bank accounting, it's only some rule or some opposite, the slide. I don't need to spend 3 credit hours in order to offer this course. OK， 所以为什么会计系不开银行会计？以前的时候，因为毕业门槛这个学分数多，现在128个学分，干嘛花3个学分去开个银行会计？因为他们基本的只要懂一些他们银行法规，然后就是什么，所有东西相反就好了，何必去花3个学分去学这个 ？OK， 所以你只要知道 the debit and credit they are opposite to the regular company. That's it. Okay. All right. Here. So if you have a previous balance, then you decrease something, you add up something, so you have a current balance. Okay. So this is balance. You have to check with your own book. OK， 你的期末的银行的金额，你要跟你自己的账户去看看有没有一致。And for the checking, be careful. You need to, everyone's. I think you should see the check before. OK, there's always a serious number of the check. 好，你的那个账户银行的支票上一定有流水号码。OK, so every time they will indicate the number. OK. Supposedly, all the numbers should be consecutive, continuously. But how come it's not? Okay, here's 919, 119, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oops, something not here. Okay, 25, missing 21, 26. Then continue to 28. Okay, probably supposedly they should be 130. There's another 2 are missing. Okay, so you need to pay attention to the number, check number, and the here, okay, and also some deposit here, and make the final balance. So this is the one. This is the one, and something here you should know because there are always some memo next to the number that you should know what happened. For example, DM, which means debit memo. I just mentioned if it's debit, it's a decrease. It's a credit. Is an increase, right? So definitely the check will decrease your account. So that's a DM. Okay. So here the DM is a debit memo. Okay. We have credit memo. We have debit memo. For example, here 485 is credit memo, which means you have increased your account. Money's up. Okay. And so that's why it's adding item. And also we have something more frequent. IN. Which means interest you earn, okay, and some easy error correction. Actually, it's really happened that bank will make error. 好，银行很少会做错 but it happens, okay. And also something here is very important. NSF, non-sufficient fund. You have to remember the term. Okay, then later I explain more. no sufficient, not enough money from the account, okay? And also from EFT, some people wire money directly to the check, the account. We call that electronic funds transfer. And also SC, service charge. For example, you want to buy the checkbook, okay? Normally you apply the checkbook from online. Then they will mail you directly the whole package of the checkbooks. However, you don't need to pay at a time because they will charge you, they don't deduct your account directly. Then if you don't check the service fee, and you didn't record the entry. 好，那有的时候像这些服务费用啊，你跟银行去买支票，他直接寄给你，你线上申请的直接寄给你了，可是你也没付钱，你的账户上没有付钱啊，因为你要从银行账单里面找出 we have a somewhere service charge， OK， 所以如果你不跟银行对账单呢，这些的事情很多事情你都不知道 what happened，especially you have the electronic, we have so frequent happen for the electronic funds transfer， 我们的电子汇钱很频繁。如果你不做银行对账单的话，你并不知道人家钱进给你。Okay, and we also have direct withdraw, deduct. For example, you pay your utility monthly, right? But actually the money will directly deduct from your bank account. But normally for the company, you only receive the receipt or the payment in notification, but you don't know when the money was deducted. So you have to check from your bank statement. 好，在银行对账单里面有很多资讯是在你平常做账户时候不会注意到的。你一定，所以每一次在月初，当你收到银行对账单的时候，所有会计的人都要去把这两个你的账户上跟银行对账单上资讯来做一个确认。好，所以 this is we call that bank reconciliation. So you should know how it looks like, right? Bank statement. So we have for the bank statement, we have the beginning balance, okay, and here we have some student coming late. Then you have to know anything you decrease your account, bank account, that's debit, okay. Anything you increase your account, that's credit. Then after you have some debit, you have some credit, then you have your final ending balance. OK， 好，所以呢，银行对账单会看这些加加减减之后，最后的数字来跟你做对账。OK， 所以呢，请记住 ，Bank Debit Memo 是 Deposits Cash Reduce。再讲一次啊，刚才同学没有听清楚，再请记得一次。银行你的借方就表示你的现金减少了，银行发生的贷方就表示你的现金增加了。所以呢，银行跟公司两边的这个借贷是相反的哈，相反，这是很重要的一个概念。Okay, then this is how it looks like in Taiwan bank statement. Okay. Okay, this page should be very, very important. You should know the terms. Okay. The first one we call a cancel check. So it's different. When you have the check, you issue the check. Okay. And for the very, very old generation like me, we will receive, the whole package monthly, real check, which is already cashed. Okay. Then when they are cashed, the bank will stamp cancelled. Okay. But it's different from the one void. Okay. They are different. When you see the check with the statement, with the stamp, this is a check. Then you probably will see a stamp, cancelled. When you see cancel, means the check has been cashed already. 已经被兑现，兑现就叫 cashed. But when you see a check showing the stamp void, which means the check is not valid. 好，作废。好，在台湾我们常会。即便是作废东西都要尸骨残存哈，你不能说哦，我写错了，把那张支票全部撕掉，揉一揉就丢了这种。No, even they are void， 作废 has to keep it because we need to keep the sequential number. OK， 所有的会计的 支票号码都要连续的，这个观念很重要。Even though not check, for example, in my community， 你们很多人如果 if you live in a high price building， 你们公司的管理住大楼是不是都会有一些 activity？ 比如说你要去卡拉 OK 啊，或者是 swimming 啊，然后你说你现在去租就要借那个 facility 嘛，对不对 ？You have to borrow facility, then you have to pay。那这时候你们的管理公司啊，他写，明明这是游泳费，他写成视听费，错了，那他怎么办？他把它撕掉，好，比如说200块钱，他就撕掉，你写错了，他继续写再讲，你要跟他说 no， 你不可以撕，你只能在上面写作费，因为所有的 number 必须要一直保留，因为为什么？如果你让他撕掉的话，人家付他的钱，他可以把它一直撕掉，说哦，他今天收5张，每个200块。他撕掉3张，写错了，那他那3张600块进他口袋 ，OK，so we have to keep all the number， 这是我们的 control， 知道吗？所以所有的东西 you have to if you paste anything the receipt always have to be maintained in a sequential numbers， OK，so cancel back to here， cancel means is cashed，OK，cancel check，OK， 所以。我们叫做已经被兑现的支票 cancel check, and we also have SC. We say that service charge. There are many things you need to pay the service charge from charged by the bank, and also checks deposit that are uncollectible. Okay, which means your customer pay you check, so you deposit check into the account, okay? But later on, you will inform your customers check the banking balance is not enough, so this one you cannot get any money. In that case, normally we say that non-sufficient fund. We'll have that later. You deposit money, non-sufficient fund. You deposit your customer money, but actually these checks are uncollectible. You cannot get money. Okay, this is very important from number 3. And also, if the bank makes some mistake, they can make some corrections. Oh, okay. And it's also very so popular. You can go to the ATM machine to, withdraw the money. So withdraw this action. Later on, the transaction will show you on your statement, bank statement. If you forgot to put on your book, then no worries, you can check from your bank statement. 所以假设你从银行提款机提钱，那你忘记回家回你的公司做账的话，不用担心，因为银行一定会告诉你他的那个银行队长会看到东西。And also some periodic statements like your salary. The company will deposit directly to you, and you pay several fees like the utility and your tax, whatever the fee, they can deduct money directly from your bank. We say that it's a periodic payment. In the United States, you better, make several periodic payments. If you don't do that, just like me a couple years ago, the first few years, I came back from United States. I just maintain my account there, okay? But I don't have any action doing that. Then I will charge the service fee almost $20 every month. I was so upset. After 2 years later, after I pay so much fee every month, and I noticed that how come there's so much money missing from my bank? Because I don't have any actions. But if you say that, I can decide to pay my something, with periodic steady, deductions, then you don't need to pay the monthly fee. So next time if you walk into the bank, you should know that. What kind of rule, then you will lose that's your right. Okay. All right. Now several terms. Okay. Here is the important subject. We call that bank. 请大家注意啊 this is very important. Bank reconciliation. 这个字麻烦，它的 verb reconcile okay? And the noun is reconciliation， 也就是调解 reconcile 就是调解的意思，两方不对是 always not balanced between two sides. Then we need to compromise to each side. Okay, bank reconciliation 中英文都很重要。Okay, so a bank reconciliation is prepared periodically, normally monthly. Okay, to explain the difference between cash reported on your bank statement and cash balance on the book. So that's why in the beginning you can do this way. Okay, one is the left side is bank account, the right side is your book account balance. You can also do from the top to the bottom. Both are right, acceptable. But normally we prefer left and right. And then there's also not, required that the left has to be bank or the right has to be book. We can put book on the left and the bank on the right. It doesn't matter as long as you make the final adjusting the bank balance should be equal. That's why we call that reconciliation. The final number should be the same. The final number should be the same. Okay, so this is, be careful, bank and the book are different. Bank is from your bank statement, book is from your book, accounting book. Okay. Now we're moving to how to do the reconciliation. See the one, the left, we call that per bank. The right is per book. 好，注意啊，这个英文写法，每一次你看到有这个 per 哈 ，p 啊，注意 per 的时候，per person 是指的是每一个人啊。那你说每一餐 per diem，OK？ 但是呢，我们的 per 还有一个用法就是根据什么 ？OK？Per request。根据你的要求，怎样，所以注意这个单字很好用 ，per 不一定是用在只有个别的哈，也可以说根据什么。所以我们这里的 cash balance per bank 就是根据你的银行的金额 per， 我们用这个字 per 好，请注意。那注意咯 ，be careful, not clear here. For the cash balance, we most of the time only have two major items need to reconcile. Okay, one is deposit in transit, and another one is outstanding check. I'm going to explain later. Only two major parts. But for the cash balance, there are several things, maybe added item, and there are several things, maybe deduct items. So we need to explain now what is about. Okay. 好，注意了，这个银行对账单哈，每一个人我不会 I'm not going to ask you to complete a bank statement, but for the multiple choice, at least you should know what item goes to the bank, what item should be done by the book. Okay, so this is important. 好，我们现在来看这个最重要的两个。I just mentioned that， 注意啊，所有同学耳朵接过来，这是一定必考题哈。Okay, so I just mentioned that for the format on your bank side, there are only two major items. What are the two major items? Okay. This is the one. The one, outstanding check. What is outstanding check? Which means today you purchase something and you wrote some check to your whoever the store. 你买东西是不是要开张支票给人家 ？You pay them by the check. So after that, the store receives your check, but you think you have already completed the obligation because you pay the money, right? You pay the money, but so that's why on your book you will say that pay some check, then cash is reduced something because the check date you put on today. December 21st, right? Today, 22nd. Yeah, and also something I need to give you some knowledge. We have the check. There is a check date. The date. For example, you write date 2022, and third 21. If that's the one, then whoever received the check, deposit to their account, they can be cashed to get right away. If they put it on 28th, then the check cannot be being cashed until the date. Okay? So here is, assume you have written 21, okay, which means it should be cashed anytime. So on your book, for example, you buy some office supply, 2,000, then you cash, credit cash already. So that's why on your book, your cash is reduced $2,000. So far, okay? But the other side, whoever received your check, they are lazy bone. They don't care because they collect all the check and they send to deposit to the bank every week or even every 2 weeks. So what about today is March, 29, for example, and the dark store received your check, still putting somewhere. They didn't deposit to the bank right away. So do you think that will be the difference from your bank statement and your book? Yes or no? Here is the thing. I'll explain one more time. You sign a check. The date is on March 29 for today. Okay? And so that's why when you're going back to record on your book, you debit whatever the expense and you credit cash. So which means your cash reduced $2,000. Okay, so far. But at the other side, they received the check. Supposedly, they deposit by today, then you'll be cashed. Okay, then your balance should be the same. But however, they don't do that so frequent, not by daily. They don't do that daily. Okay, they probably do weekly. So in that case, I'm going to do my March statement for balance sheet. Then my cash, the balance will not be matched with the bank statement because the time, the difference. So if that's the case, we call this kind of case, this kind of check, outstanding check. Pay out cash, but they don't send deposit to their bank. We call that outstanding check. 同学注意啊，这个 outstanding check 在中文有它的专门名词叫未兑现支票，这个应该比较看得懂。还没有拿去变成现金支票的未兑现支票。Okay, then we see the definition. Checks written or drawn by the depositor. Then who is the payer? Okay. Then so they deduct it on the deposit record, their own book, and send to the payee who sold something to you. Okay, sold something to you, but not yet received by the bank for the payment at the bank statement because they don't deposit. Once they don't deposit, my side of bank will not be informed. Okay, so we call this outstanding check. Okay, so that's why here, back to here, see here, we have is on the deduct item because it happens already. The company side already recorded the facts, the transaction, but the bank, since no one deposited the check yet, so they don't know. So once I receive the bank statement, I need to reconcile both sides. Okay, that's why I deduct the money here. I call that outstanding check. Outstanding check also is an account. 注意啊，未兑现支票也是个会计科目哦。注意啊，这一章节这个地方最难，好，这个最难，所以就稍微注意一下。我在讲的是你们不需要编一个完整的银行对账单，但是你要知道他们在对账单的哪一方面，它到底是加还是减的意思。未兑现的意思就是对方没有拿去存，他没有拿去存，你银行就不知道要去扣这笔钱。所以事后我们发现这个银行对账单有这个支票的时候，你就应该知道 But problem is, how do you know there are several outstanding checks here? See here? How do you know? Find out the answer from outstanding check from, we have a slide here. Can someone tell me from this statement, where did you find the outstanding check? 从这个对账单里面，你们可以告诉我，你怎么知道有未兑现支票 ？How do you know that？ 我刚才在讲这张单的时候，给你们一些提示了哈。Bruno, can you tell me where can you find out where are the outstanding checks from the information here? One more time. Here is the debit side, which means the bank already deducted money. Then here is the credit side, which means the bank already, for example, you deposit money or someone wire the money to you, then you can check the information here. Okay? So I'm asking about outstanding check. Where did you find it?
I don't know.
Anyone? 你们有没有办法从这个对账单里面找出这个未兑现支票的资讯 ？Anyone from you? Just think， 想想看，未兑现支票是你已经付出去支票，你今天付了110支票，你就会记录我付了110支票，顶多在上面叙述这是什么水电费啊，这是什么买了什么东西的钱啊，你自己做账应该都知道嘛，做流水账。所以你自己有每付出去一笔那个支票的资讯，包括它的金额，包括他付的对象，还包括他的什么银行号码、支票号码。OK， 所以 you have your own book information based on the check you have wrote. You have written, I mean, the check information, included amount, included the payee, and all including the check number. Okay, you have all information on your book. Now, the information is coming from the bank. Okay? 我刚才 did I give you the hint that all the check has to be sequential. 所有的支票号码都必须连续号的。So, what does that mean? If they are really consecutive 连续的 then from here, should supposedly to be from 119, 128, or even 130. But how come there are several missing checks here? Which means what's that? Which means they may be what? Outstanding check. You have already written the check, but they didn't deposit. Since they didn't deposit, they will not showing up here. See? So I know 124, 126, 120, yeah, one is well, there are two missing checks here. I call that outstanding check. Then how do you know how much? Because on your book you know. Okay? So here, that's the information you can find out from your bank statement. 知道了吗？未兑现支票，从你的银行对账单里面插缺号的号码，明明你已经写支票了，那对方竟然没有，表示对方写出去的他没有去兑现。那对方不兑现，不去存支票，你的银行就不会扣这个号码的东西。所以对你来说，当我们发现这个事情的时候，我们就把它称之为未兑现支票。OK，all right， 知道没？刚才有听懂人 ？If you don't get it, please raise your hand. This is another Brian.
Yes.
Why you always absent? Where did you go?
I'm not going anywhere.
Then why did you show up?
When? Last week.
Last
maybe.
week or the
Yes,
past
last week I sick. But before that, I always come to class.
Already? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Today's is very important for the subject. bank statement reconciliation. OK， 好，注意了哈。So outstanding, any outstanding you find out is a minus item. OK. Furthermore, we have some added item. We call that deposit in transit, or some people call outstanding deposit. OK， 就叫做在途存款。在途存款。What is deposit in transit? People pay you money. Okay, people pay you check, right? So when you receive the check, actually you do that every day. You are not a lazy one. You're very responsible one. So, but unfortunately, today is March 30, which is Friday. So you receive the check. You walk into the office. Actually, you know, even the app, they can deposit the check. As long as you Photoshop the check, and actually will automatically deposit to your account. You don't need to walk to the bank. Okay, that's how it works for the app. Anyway, you deposit the check, but now you should know, bank to bank, not directly related to each other. Here is the bank A. That one is your bank. Okay. Then here is bank B. Is the customer. They give you a check. So you have to deposit the money. Supposedly, the information should go to bank B. So they should, deduct your customer's account, then send money directly to you. But however, actually between the two, there is a central bank or central processing somewhere. Normally take time. Okay. If I live in Taipei, Taichung, and someone give me a check, also we have the same bank. If we have the same bank, then actually whenever I deposit the check on the counter, my bank, my balance will show up the adding deposit right away because we are the same bank. Okay, but we are different bank. Okay, and also even we are different bank, but we both are in Taichung, then probably it takes half day in order to the other side will confirm they have the customer has enough cash. If I took a check, actually different bank. And also coming from Taipei, other than Taichung, normally it might take 2 days because they need time here to process. See? So if I receive my customer check, which is dated on March 30, Friday, just coincidence. So going back to your office, you have the debit cash. Credit something. Okay, so you increase your cash. Actually, the bank hasn't confirmed from the other side. Okay, maybe it's a non-sufficient fund. Okay, cannot be cash. Maybe most of the time it takes time to deposit. So that's why the time difference making you to do some reconciliation. Okay, so another thing， 请同学注意啊，在这个 transit 就在路途中 ，OK， 在路途中的存款，我们把它称为叫做在途存款。Normally you receive the payment. So the deposit made and recorded by the depositor, okay, but not yet recorded on the bank statement, okay, because we have a Taiwan clearing house, processing center. They take to confirm both sides. The ones that have enough the balance, then they will deduct money to the other side. Okay, so that's why here again, make the deposit in transit an added item. Okay, 所以同学再注意一下 ，one more time here. I'm only focusing on the bank side. 这题很重要 ，very important for bank statement, especially for accounting student. Everyone need to do that monthly. Okay, but for you, at least whoever report to you you, then you should know what they are talking about. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lee, or some, Brian, or some whoever. I just don't let you know that we have still some outstanding check. So that's what make our money, blah, blah, blah. Then outstanding check. What is outstanding check? At least you know. Someone, your accounting department people will report you some terminology. Okay. All right. So if you deposit money which is not cash by the for some reason, normally this happens very close to the end of month or accounting period. Okay, we call that deposit in transit. So you need to add it up. Okay, or you roll out some you have written some check to pay to the other side. They didn't cash the check. So but the bank didn't know you have the expense. So that's why it's a -10 outstanding check. Okay. So everyone just try to focusing on this side. 懂吗？其他同学，在银行里面你要管的只有2个项目，一个是债务存款，一个就是未兑现支票。Only that, okay? And other than these 2 items, because I just said that there's very real possibilities that the bank will make the error. So just ignore here. But if it happens, then you just have to do something. Most of the time it won't happen, okay? But accountant, several chances they will make errors. But besides these 2, others one you go to do something on your book side. Okay, let's see. We do some practice for these questions. We're only focusing on bank side. 你们现在 you don't need to write on your sheet. You just listen because you need to do that later. 你现在只要听就好了哈，不需要做任何事情。Okay, here's the question here. Everyone, do you still have the questions for question 4? The following information is available for this company, okay, on November. So on November 30, after all transactions have been recorded, the balance in the company, be careful, is company cash account, has 27,202. That's why we need to fill out the right place. Bank balance on the right side. You don't mix up the 2 sides balance, and then you will use that from the beginning to the end. Okay? So the book side 27,202. Okay? Follow it. Then question the number 2 information. The company's bank statement shows the balance on the date 2/9/279. So when you are making the bank reconciliation, you put it on the left side, the beginning balance. So far, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now we need to take care of the left side because we just, showing the information here. All right, so where is that? Okay, item C. Outstanding check and November 30 include 2 check numbers, 3030 with number 1525 and the check number 3556 with number 1459. So just think, I just talked. For outstanding, you should add or you should deduct. Outstanding check means you pay someone else. So that's why on your book, you have deducted already, but the bank didn't. So outstanding check is a deduct or add. Deduct, 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 deduct. Everyone deduct. 这个未兑现支票是银行端的减项。未兑现支票是银行端的减项，所以呢？ 你来看看这边 ，so let's see the solution here. Oh, and of course you have to list the check number with respect amount. Okay, respect the amount. So here's number and the value, and total it here. So it's a deduct item. 可以知道吗？ Got it? And also for D, not D. Okay, actually F, a deposit bank placed in the bank 9 depository. You know, on your ATM machine, okay, normally you can also deposit check. So if it's evening, of course, no one is doing the processing. Okay, so that's why it's a, so that's why it's a deposit in transit. And the total value is 160.75 and did not appear on the bank statement. So number 5 is a what? You can write on your sheet. Is a deposit in transit. Since it's a deposit in transit for item F, you need to add it up here. Deposit in transit 160.75. Then you have completed. We will assume no error in bank. Okay, we have completed left side. Okay, so far, okay. Now we're going to move further about the company's book. 好，那我们现在可以确定了吗？确定了吗？已在银行对账单的左方，只要管在途存款，只要管未兑现支票 ，just only 2 items here. Okay. Then we are going to move to more complicated one for the company side. Okay. Here, several terms you need to know. The first one, we call that company size deduction items. Deductions. Okay. What is about deductions? Number 1 is the balance in another party's account is not large enough to cover the check. What does that mean? You receive a check from your company. The value is, so you receive the check, the value is $2,990. Okay? So you deposit to your bank, right? You deposit to your bank. So your bank, after the central processing house, going to bank B. So your customer account showing up here. Unfortunately, they only have $2,980. But you supposedly money should be deducted from $2,990. Okay, even only $10 difference doesn't work. So your bank. After that, the central processing house going to your bank, saying that sorry, this deposit didn't work. Okay, then they will inform you. Oh, sorry, you have non-sufficient fund here. Non-sufficient fund here. But actually, you have on your book already deposit added the money. But actually, this one should be crossed out because you need to go back to your customer, ask for the money again. OK， 所以什么叫做这个存款不足退票 ？In Taiwan, a listing company is a really serious problem. If you have a non-sufficient fund just once, then you are required to step up the market, the listing market. 在台湾，如果你被支票上市公司、上柜公司，如果你支票跳票的话，你就被逐出这个上市柜的市场。所以跳票是非常严重的事情。OK， 那我们现在讲的是一般的小型退票。Okay, so we have a non-sufficient fund here. This is the example. Alright. So the first one, it happens the balance in another party not have enough cash, the account. We call that, you have to know the terminology, non-sufficient fund, NSF, okay? Oh, this is the one you have to deduct. So see here, you put it here, uncollectible item, and one is the NSF。可以知道吗？退款不足退票是必须要从银行那边去扣除的。Another thing is, the bank may also charge depositor a fee for processing the check and notify the deposit by sending a debit memo. 有的时候 sometimes for non-sufficient funds, looks like you lost 2990, but actually when the bank inform you, you need to pay them, you have to deduct 3,000 what? Why? Because there's a 10 extra fee because your bank trying to help you deduct money here and they're going back. So the whole process, they charge you several extra $10 fee. So that's also for the item too, okay? But you don't know what happened, okay? And sometimes for some reason, and for example, there's some direct withdraw money, you paid utility or something, you didn't know when it happened. Then you also, once you know that money has been deducted from your account, then you should deduct money too. 那有的时候呢是银行给你收手续费，有的时候是银行帮你付了水电费，所有的账单直接从银行扣掉，但是你的账户上并没有记录这些事情的时候，那你就必须要去做这个 deduct. Okay, so we have another deductions. Okay, then the next one is adding. You have deductions, something you have some adding. Adding is much comparatively much easier. Okay, so bank can help you to, receive some money. For example, some people directly the check or you didn't know, but actually they help you to. For example, here's example. You have a sales, and actually the money is pretty much $5,000 US dollars. So you decide to pay. Write them 5 checks, 1,000 1 month. So you have several checks going to the bank, your customer. So you have March 1,000. You have April 1,000. So you have totally 5 checks. Okay. So you pay your customer, whoever sells something to you. So this is the other party. They took your 5 checks. So if they want to do by monthly, it's really not convenient. What should you do? You go to the bank, deposit 5 checks all together. Okay. One time, deposit one time. Your bank will helping you cash monthly the check, automatically by the bank. You don't need to worry because the bank will do the cashing by themselves. So if that's the case, bank, just like your agent, collection agent, they help you to cash the check monthly. But on your book, you didn't record that. 这样知道吗？这个资讯里面也应该知道是你们生活常识。我们如果收到好几张支票，你的客户给你是同样好几张支票，那你觉得很麻烦，因为你不需要每个月都跑去银行做这件事，或者是你即便是用手机做也很麻烦，你会忘记。所以你可以把这5张支票、6张支票，甚至10张支票一次存给银行。那每次到了那个 date 的时候呢，那个到期的时候，你的银行就会帮你把这个支票兑现。Okay, so in that case is an additions. Okay, you're adding items. They help you to cash the check. Okay, also some people EFT wire some money to you through the electronic fund transfer, so you don't have information. When you receive bank statement, you should add it up. And also, it happens all the bank. They will issue a very small money of interest. So you also need to add up the items periodically. So here, for the company side, please remember, only for deductions, if there's some NSF or some fee you don't know, okay? Then for addition you need to, most of the time it happens because of the interest, or from the EFT, or from, the some money that the bank help you to receive. So that's why here we have several adding or deduction error of the item and also including some error. So finally, after your reconciliation, the two sides balance should be equal. The two sides balance should be equal. Okay. All right, we take a break and we'll do some questions. Then I hope you can really understand. Something in this class, some people, some students really frustrate me because you talk too much in class. I don't know why you are here. If you don't feel like you can concentrate, I recommend you don't need to waste your time. Okay. Okay, here's the example for the company side. For the added item, the company, the bank, helping this customer receive 500 note, which is a check. See, just like example I just gave to you, the company might deposit several checks together at the same time. So periodically, the bank will help to receive deposit money to him. But however, since the bank is doing the service, so they will charge the service fee. So after deducting the 15 fee, the totally adding amount is 485. 好，我刚才上课有讲过，这公司的银行可以帮公司一次存好几张支票 ，OK？ 那一次存好几张支票的时候呢，他就会跟他收费。所以原本这张支票收到应该500块，但是他收了15块钱的费用，所以增加进来的金额是485。然后呢 ，also another one is interest for the period. Okay, so the interest revenue is 8.42, so which is also added up to the balance. 所以利息是银行会给你的利息，也会你平常是不知道的，所以这时候你看到银行对账单的时候，你就会加进去。And also here is one check printing charge. I told you if you order your checkbook online, they will mail you the checkbook directly, but later on they will charge you the fee. OK， 这就是你跟银行订，你说你是银行支票存款账户，然后你支票用完了，你就可以在线上申请支票簿，他就会直接寄给你。但是他直接寄给你，当时不收费，事后还是给你收费用哈。所以像这边是23块。And also this is very important, non-sufficient fund. OK, already you have already added up deposit, adding up your money, but actually the other side doesn't have enough fund. OK, 对方没有足够的银行存款让你去扣这张支票，所以被退回来。OK， 那这个时候 you need to deduct the cash, including the fee, totally together here. OK, so then after you have done the right side, and if nothing mistake happen, then you will see that both sides number are reconciliated, 就变 equal. OK， 所以这个时候请注意哈。But it's not the ending. It's not the ending yet. Looks like we have spent pretty much time, explaining how to do the bank reconciliation. But it's only for the, the reconciliation sheet, okay? But problem is, on your book, the cash balance is 1404.5. Okay, 58. Finally, should go to here. How do they, you know already, something need to add and something need to deduct. But for our accounting, everything on your balance, there must be some transaction. As long as they have some transaction, they need to do some what? Entry. If you don't do the entry, they cannot be posted to your balance. Since they are not posted to a balance, you can never reach to this number, even though you have the statement already. So you need to do what? You need to do the adjusting entry again after you find out the problem here and problem here. But the things I'm asking you, do you need to take care of all the items here, here, and here to do the adjusting entries? 问号，我在说这好不容易你会总算编对了那个银行调节表，让银行端钱跟你的公司钱能够总算平衡。但问题是，你的账户上原本的期初金额1404点钱，到最后变成1800多，它不可能无中生有。即便是你已经好不容易编对了这个表，因为你如果不做任何的交易，如果不做分录，就不能过账到他的银行的账户的最后金额。所以你还是要做调节表。但是我现在问各位，我们需要把这个上面所有的东西都要做调整分录吗？ The answer is yes or no. Do you need to take care of this part? Do you need to take care of this part? Do you need to take both? Or you only need to pick up either side? Both side? Both side. Right. Because what? This is something I care. Okay? And this is something, well, the bank will take care of by themselves. So you don't need to worry. So that's why I blocked the item here. You only need to do 4 adjustments. Okay? Then that's the most difficult part. But I don't blame you if you don't do that. But I still have to complete the last part. Okay? Anyway. 好，那现在我们只要针对银行的账户这一端来做调整就好了哈。那如果你们真的觉得很困难做的调整，我也不会觉得怎么样哈。但是你大概知道一些概念就好。Okay, the first one already before you have notes receivable. Okay, now you receive the cash. Okay, so the first one, the originally. You have notes receivable. Everyone should know what is notes receivable, right? You make the sales and pay you a check. So on your book, you record NR, debit, and credit sales, right? So you have a debit side, notes receivable, okay? So now the notes, the check being cashed. So they should move from the original debit to offset to credit, 对吧？你原本顾客给你开的支票，你应该应收票据500元，现在银行帮你收了钱，好，那你应该就把它冲掉，从借变贷。But problem is you can only get cash $4.85 because there's some fee for expense asking from the bank. Okay, so you have a collection expense or you have bank fee, whatever you want to write. Okay, anyway, it's expensive. That's why it's on debit. That's the first one. Okay, bank helping you to collect the notes, the check, helping to cash the check. So you need to write offset the NR from debit to credit. Then you receive the cash. Then you pay the fee, the expense. Okay, that's the first one. This one, got it? The second one is easy. The second one is easy because you receive the interest. We call that revenue. You cannot write interest sales. Sales means you are doing the business with the other people. Then revenue is other than business. Okay, so you made it interest revenue. That of course is on credit. Then you receive cash. 好，利息收入很简单，好，利息就是银行收给你的，但是你不能把它当成销货。Sales 是叫做销货 ，revenue 叫做收入，好，所以利息收入叫做 interest revenue。OK， 那如果你是销货的话，你要写 sales，OK， 不一样。所以利息收入是在贷方，好，那就产生了现金借。So second one is pretty easy, but the following one is a little bit. The third one is easy too, because you are receiving the checkbook, so they help you do the check printing service. So you call that miscellaneous expense. You credit cash. Okay. Now the last one is more difficult, but you should know the concept. The story is you deposit check you receive from your customer. Okay. You receive a check from your customer, then you deposit the check But later on, from the bank statement or the bank will call you, say, sorry, Ms. Pang, that the check, your other side didn't have enough cash to balance the cash. That's why it's a return check. So you including the originally $20 check face value, they also charge you extra bank fee for $10. Okay, so that's why originally you have already recorded the revenue the revenue. Okay, but it's still valid. But problem is now you are going back to your customer because it looks like so far they didn't pay you any penny. So it becomes an accounts receivable with the customer's name. Okay, and the total cash because these two $20 already cash here, but now you have to cancel that $20 and also include. I will say this one, split the account, then you're easy to help you. Actually, originally, what's the customer name? Tigu. Okay, it's $20. Then you need to receive $20 from your customer. Okay, and also you need to account receivable. You need to buy goods. That's the bank fee they charge you. So you have to pay the bank another $10. So you can add it up together to total $30. Okay, actually it's two items together. 好，所以这个就是借应收账款，你要重新跟你的客户去要钱，重新跟客户去要钱。OK， 好，就这样子。所以 this is the one。好的 ，OK， 啊，这个就是最麻烦的地方，最麻烦的地方。好，你看到没有 ？After you are doing the transit entry, after you complete the posting, then you reach the final correct balance for your cash. Okay, that's the complete story for bank reconciliation. Okay, so once again, you need to do a review first, then we're moving to the practice again. Okay, first, you should know you need to put a two side from bank, from the company, in order to reconcile to the same number. OK， 你要把左边的银行的资讯跟右边的银行资讯先去填起来。OK，the second important thing for the bank, you only need to take care of two major items. 好，在银行端，你只需要注意两件事情，一个就是要加在途存款，一个就是减那个未兑现支票。OK，so what is a deposit in transit? Normally, it happens near the end of the financial statement date. Okay, because the check you just deposit are on the way to getting the process. So that's why your bank does not get information. 好，在途存款是钱在存款的路途上还没有存进去，所以日后从你的银行对账单你要帮银行那边加上去。另外是 outstanding check， 你已经在你的账户上记录了。OK，the check has been deducted from your book. However, the payee does not deposit the money. 好，那就付款端呢，他没有去存支票，所以呢，你已经减了，可是银行没有减收。Only two things on the left is two major things. Okay, and for the book, okay, maybe some added item, maybe some deduction item. 所以这就是 this is we call the reconciliation. 好吧，那 finally 他们 it should be matched. Okay, the number final balance should be matched. Then later on, after you complete the statement, then you should do some adjusting entry. Otherwise, your book balance, cash balance cannot be reached to the final number. 好，如果你不做调整分录的话，它永远在账户上还是保持原有的会计科目。所以再次 once again, if there's a transaction, you need to do the what? Entry, then you need to do the posting, then you will get a proper balance， 就是比较适合的余额 ，OK。好，这就是我们的第4个练习。来，我们再来看一下 ，back to your practicing sheet。We just finished the left side。好，然后我们再来看一下，大家跟着做。等一下 ，after I complete the explanation, then you have to do it by yourself again. Okay. All right. We just mentioned item A, B, D, and F. Let's go to E. Okay. A debit memo included with the bank statement show 67 non-sufficient check from the customer. Debit means your account should be deduct, right? Cash deduct. So you see that here. Here is a NSF check 67 deduction item. 注意咯，只要是 NSF， 它跟你讲是 debit， 银行的 debit， 借方就是你的贷方，你的贷方就表示你的现金要减少，所以这也是另外一个方法去记。Okay, there's another way. As long as it's showing that on the financial statement is a debit memo, then you will credit your balance, which means reduce your cash balance. Very easy to remember. Okay, then go to G. Examination of the checks on the bank statement with the entry in accounting records reveals that there are check numbers 3445. This is something you need to think more. Okay. Reviews the check number 3445 for the payment of the accounts payable was correctly written for 2450, but recorded in accounting records as 2540. 这什么意思？意思说 ，Let's go to here directly, easier. Originally, you have received a check. You have paid a check number. Whenever there's a check number, which means you draw a check to pay for somebody else, right? So since you have already paid someone else, so originally, maybe the originally entry is like this. You purchase something, you purchase some, equipment. Then you wrote a check. It's 2450. Now you correctly record it because you paid the cash notes payable. That's why you offset. Then you pay cash by this 2450. This is the correct entry you should make. But instead you made an error. You put a more number here, 2540. You paid more, which make your book balance less than the original one. Okay, so that's the mistake you are making. So in order to make wrong, to correct, what should you do? You need to do some correcting entry. This is very difficult, I know. But if you have very good concept of your entry, then it should be okay. 你看看，你把这个加这个，你要把 NF 变成2540，你是不是要从借便贷冲销90块钱？你要把现金 ，you have to make cash from 25 to become 2550. You need to go to debit offset 90. Then you add these two up. Then you go to this. Okay? So the question is, they made it wrong like this, but actually the correct number is this. So you need to make some entry. Okay? That's why, if you don't know this one, that's okay. I don't blame you. Okay? So for this one, you make some correcting entry. 就是叫做纠正的分录。Okay? 好，那这个 this one is really difficult, so let's just skip that one. Okay. So here, let's go to the reconciliation first. So we add up the total value 770 from here. B, you have a credit memo, which means you have to add the item. So the total credit value is after you deduct $10 fee, so you add up 770, okay? Then you have the mistake at, so just like that one I mentioned, so you add up to 90, and finally you have a non-sufficient fund, which is a deduct item. You have service charge 25, so which make you to the final equal number. OK， 好，这个真的对你们来说很难，我再解释一次哈，就是刚才根据这几个题目，我再练一次给你们听。第一个就是你先要把 the first you need to put the right position of your beginning balance. One is go to the bank, another one go to the book. OK， 那这两个就必须把它放到正确的位置。第三个的 C 就是未兑现支票 ，outstanding check go to the bank side. OK， then D a credit memo, which means you have to will increase your the balance. So it's on company's adding item. Okay, you collect money, the notes from your customer. Okay, but since they help you to collect money, they will charge you extra $10 collection fee. So the net money you receive is 770. So here is the net money received is 770 here. Okay, then for the E is debit memo for non-sufficient. Okay, since the debit, it means you reduce your balance. So for the deduction item, you will see a non-SF here. 因为是借方，所以你回到你的公司变成贷方，就减少的意思，67块就减少。然后呢 ，then service fee for the final one, $25. So you have to deduct the money here. Okay, and the arrow goes to G. Okay, originally the right one is 2450, but it was recorded in the wrong number, 2540. So this one is really difficult. If someone really asks me, come back to me, then I will explain the details for you. Okay, if you say, okay, it's too much for me, then skip it. I think it's okay. Okay, I'm not going to torture you that much. Okay, 如果你觉得 G 这个东西你还是不懂，你可以下课来问我。好，那如果你觉得我已经受够了，就跳过去吧。Okay, 这是 OK 的。Okay. Alright, so that's the one for this. Then later on we need to. I don't think we have a question about the adjusting entry for your common examination. So just ignore that. So that's okay. Alright, I think we are very complete for this chapter. Then for the bank reconciliation. So we go to the final quiz. I think somebody has left already. So let's go to here for A dash, the final one. A-4, please. Why 为什么大家今天看起来都一副很不想上课的样子，让我觉得很挫折。Something wrong? Is it the issue topic too difficult for you? Looks like no one got good mood today. I mean, you feel all the faces on, I mean, that they're tired because Monday blue, or the topic. At times they're using the same way to teach, right? No difference. But I feel so different from you today. Okay, the first questions. All the professors or the lectures analysts coming from the students. if you feel so, even you have lots of question mark, that's all acceptable, because I try to explain. But if the face showing that you just don't feel like listening to me, then I'm so frustrated. That's it. Okay, the first one, a bank reconciliation explains any differences between the balance of checking account on the deposit record. Yes, that's a cash account. And checking account also is one item of cash, okay? And the balance reported on your bank statement. So we need to reconcile the difference between two sides. Okay, that's question 1. Number 2, outstanding checks are checks the bank has paid and the deducted from customer account during the month. Actually, outstanding check means you have already paid the check. And actually, you also deduct money from your book. However, the payee didn't go to deposit into their own bank. That's we call outstanding bank, okay? So you decide the answer is right or wrong, true or false. Number 3, deposit in transit are deposit made and recorded by the depositor, which is you, but not yet recorded on the bank statement because of some reason, still on the process. So we call that you deposit, but actually the bank did not receive the information. Is that the bank in transit? Okay, number 4. After preparing a bank reconciliation, adjustment must be made for items reconciling the bank balance and also the item on the book balance. Is that right? You need to adjust on both sides. On both sides. That's question 4. Okay. Finally, the step to reconcile the balance of the bank statement to the adjusted balance include adding outstanding check, deposits, and the bank service charge. Okay, that's a really weird question. Which means, actually, question 5 is asking you, what would you do on your bank statement? What would you do on your bank statement side? Okay. So finally, let you finish that. Whoever left earlier, I will still count it for the third session being absent. 早离开第3节课就会算他缺席。How come? 你们有在8之4吗？那为什么还？OK， 我看差不多了 ，Then I close。Okay, we are going to close this chapter. Finally, always the financial index. Okay, here's the one, the last one. Days sales uncollected. How much the sales that maybe you cannot receive the money? We call that uncollected. So we have, what is the definition for uncollected? is always accounts receivable. You have the sales created, but you haven't received money, you give them some credit terms, okay? So that's why we have accounts receivable right over here. Comparing to how much you have outstanding, you have to give receipt the cash. But comparing the overall net sales, be careful, it's not the first time you are saying net sales. Net sales, you have to deduct sales discount, you need to deduct sales return and sales allowances. After you deduct all the items, we call that net sales. So for here, you cannot just deduct by sales. You need to, if there's anything I just mentioned, you need to deduct first in order to reach to the net sales. So after you the percentage, you need to time the whole year days. Okay, then you find out the days. This is, we assume, if it does happen, then how many days it normally will take to get the money back. Okay, so that's why the conclusion is, the more days, the worse. Okay, which means they are outstanding too long. You need to get money back as soon as possible. So this is also an important index, seeing that the quality of your customer. Okay, so if you are the manager of the sales department, if you are the manager for some, the credit department, then you should know that the credit you give your customer, whether you need to do some adjustment or not. Okay, so this is the final index for uncollected. Okay, so that will be all for chapter 8. Okay, so we still have one chapter to go, which means we only have, let me see, we have how many? Our midterm is on April 11th that week. Okay, and for this common exam for accounting, which will be held on April 13th. But unfortunately, we have another vacation on April 4th. So which means after today, we only have two, March 28th, 1 day, 1 week only. So maybe, because March 29, 30th, all the directors in the university, they need to take some training course, including me, of course, so I will not be available. Originally I said probably we can add some course. So I might do that on this Wednesday. Will you be available this Wednesday from 3 to 5? Anyone have other courses? 你们礼拜三下午3点到5点有空吗？我们加课之后后面就是期中考后，我们会再把它扣除这样子，你们或者是，比如说我在这个礼拜三加课的话，因为我们还有一章第9章会上不完，因为我们已经总共被放掉2次假。We have, vacation holidays 2 times, but that's why make us the whole schedule so slow. So 我们这个礼拜三 we add up the one more course on this Wednesday from 3 to 5, and maybe depends. So after 23rd, 28th, if not enough, I may do something on April 6th. Okay, in order to complete chapter 9. Whatever I took from the time before the midterm exam, and I will deduct the time from the class after the midterm. Got it? So don't worry, you don't lose anything. No, I will say you won't have extra burden. Just make it. Okay, so that will be all. Okay, so tomorrow, even though TA, your teacher assistant, told me she already helped you to review from chapter 1 to chapter 4, but she will do tomorrow for chapter 5 in the beginning. So after her review, then you're going to have a review test again from chapter 1 to chapter 5. But since your last chapter 6 did not well for the exam, so tomorrow from chapter 1 to chapter 5, the review test, the final score will be average with the chapter 6, and the result will be counted as a chapter 6 score. 因为你们第6章考得没有很好，所以明天 天的实习课一定要上，助教会帮忙你们先复习第5章，然后呢，明天会有第1章到第5章的考试。So don't feel so, you know, I don't know how to say that. You know, for the common exam, there are 50 multiple choice questions, and all are coming from the test bank. So you have some target you have to review. Okay, especially your common exam will be counted as your midterm, which will be 30% of the overall. I think it's pretty worth it to do the review. Okay, 你们那个会考哈，都是来自于题库的分数，所以你只要把题库背熟了，它占全学习30%，所以你花点力气是值得。Especially if you are really doing good on your midterm, then I will probably adjust the final overall score for you again. Okay? If you do not put any effort for your midterm, then I couldn't do anything at the end. Okay? I think it's critical for you for your midterm. 所以你们的会考非常的关键啊，因为是背的题库，你们就好好读，然后如果考得好，我期末还可以再加分。OK？那如果你们